guys, it is April from Getting Hooked with It. Today I just wanted to have a sit down chat with you and talk to you about the books that I'm reading right now and the books that I'm thinking about reading next. I'll probably end up reading just one from the lot of them because that's just kind of how I work. Very non-committal. I like to really mood read, but these are the books that I'm thinking of reading. Before we get into it, I just wanted to say that if you like this video, then please click like. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. I would love to spend more time with you. So, okay, let's get into it. I should start out with the books that I'm reading right now. So I'm reading two books at the moment. The first one is on audio and it's 1984 and it's very dark. I feel like anyone who's read 1984 will understand how incredibly dark this is. And I'm kind of surprised I haven't read it yet, like that this is the first time I'm reading it. Most people in Canada are told to read this in high school and they have to read it in high school. There are a lot of like crazy dystopian books that seem to be the books that are go-to for high school. So like 1984 and Animal Farm and you know, all of these books that are so dark and incredibly depressing, and I'm enjoying it. I feel like it's very well written and I totally understand why it's a classic. I'm finding it a little bit repetitive, if I'm being honest, and I'm not crazy blown away by the concept, and maybe that's just because this was a classic for so long that other books have kind of taken from that. I don't know. I'm enjoying it. So far, I'm nearing the end of it, and I'm thinking it might be a 3-star read. I don't know. But we'll see until I get to the end for me to make my final decision. But yeah, I'm reading 1984. I am also reading Magpie Murders, and this one is a really fun one. It's kind of a book within a book. So it's about this woman. She's an editor and she receives the latest manuscript by an author who's like the most popular author of her publishing house. So she's readying herself at home, getting cozy to read this book, and she says, you know, this book changed my life. And she said a lot of people use that terminology loosely, and the book didn't really change their lives, but this book actually changed my life. And she's like, I've lost friends after this book, after I read this book. My entire life has changed. And then we promptly start reading the manuscript. Like the reader reads the entire manuscript, and that's like 200 pages. And then you get into the editor's life afterwards. So basically the premise is the author of this manuscript dies. There are a couple of chapters from this manuscript missing, and the editor has to figure out what happened. It's really interesting. I think this is the perfect type of book for someone who really likes Agatha Christie's Poirot mysteries. If you'd like detective mysteries, this would be right up your street. It's really fun play on the concept of what a book is and what it means to be a book, and it's really having fun with that genre. So I'm enjoying it. I wish I was enjoying it a little bit more. This is also veering towards the 3 stars, but I am liking it. So I'm still got a ways to go before I'm finished that. But I wanted to share with you the books that I'm thinking of reading next. I will probably be picking my next read based on this pile. So I wanted to share that with you. So let's get into that. So the first book that I'm really interested in reading is A Man Called Ove. Now, Krista over at Books and Jams just recently read this and loved it. And I feel like everyone who's read this loves it. And this is about a little old man who is incredibly grumpy, and some neighbors move in next door or close by to him, and it really changes him. And I think this is the softening of this grumpy old man. Sounds great. The other book I want to read so badly is My Cousin Rachel by Daphne du Maurier. I finished Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier in January and fell completely in love. Now, I know everyone seems to say that Rebecca is really Daphne du Maurier's best and anything else written by her doesn't compare, but I don't know, the first opening lines of this really impressed me and really sucked me in. So this book follows a man named Philip, and Philip was raised by his cousin. He, I guess, was an orphan, and his cousin took him in, and so they were very, very close. And his cousin goes to Florence on a trip, and he meets a woman named Rachel, and they have this love affair, and I believe they get married, and then his cousin promptly dies. And so Rachel is coming back to this estate that Philip is at, that Philip lives at, and he starts to have questions, and a lot of questions about his cousin's death. Is she good? Is she bad? I'm so excited to read this. The next one that's been calling to me a lot lately is Everyone Brave is Forgiven by Chris Cleave. I believe that Chris Cleave wrote this entire book and was inspired by letters he found from his grandparents to one another. And it's about 3 people who get involved in the war effort and about their experiences. Apparently this is really funny and also really heart-wrenching and a very honest kind of look at what it means to be a citizen during World War II. It just looks wonderful. I love this cover so much, and I'm just dying to read this. The next one I'm thinking about reading is Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close by Jonathan Safran Foer. Now this is about a little boy whose father dies at 9/11, and he is grappling with his grief. He misses his father immensely, and his father has this key that he's kind of left behind, and this little boy is trying to find out where this key fits and what it leads to. And I think the idea is that he's just like holding on to any last bits of his father and any more stories that he can hear from his father through finding out where this key leads. It's going to break my heart into 10 million pieces, and I know that. And I think I might be ready to read this. And the last one is something that I got for Christmas from Barry, and it's The Heart's Invisible Furies by John Boyne. Now this has so many amazing reviews on Goodreads. I feel like everyone who has read this has loved it. And it is about a little boy who's really not taken care of very well by his family. His mom is a teen when she gives birth to him. A lot of people are really mean to him because of that. It follows him throughout his life. Like, we follow him from a young boy all the way into his old age, and I just have only heard good things about this, and I've been meaning to pick it up. So those are the books that I'm thinking of reading soon. I will most likely, knowing me, pick up one from all of these books and then move on to other books. Like, my TBRs are never truly TBRs. It might be like, I'll read one of these. But this is the kind of book that I'm feeling like right now, and we will see what I pick up. Let me know what you're reading lately and what you're liking and what you're not liking. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.